Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people. And one of them is a man from Only Men Aloud. They shot to fame on Last Choir Standing, the BBC television, competition to find stars of music. There were originally nearly 20 members of the band. They're now pared down to just 8. And they're going on the road with this brand new tour and a new album as well. And Wyn Davis joins us on the phone now. How are you?
I'm not too bad, Alex. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, and it's lovely hearing these new tracks, and it's going well for you. You've sort of reshaped as a group, haven't you? And you've gone almost half size, which must have halved your hotel bill for a start.
Well, I think that was one of the reasons. No, actually, that's one of the reasons we did sort of think about restructuring, because we were doing a lot of sort of work abroad anyway, but because of the size of us, initially, it was difficult to sort of get the flights and all the hotels costed. So it's by paring down to sort of 8 members, it allows us to do a lot more international work. But also, you have to change with the times, and we've restructured since the choir started. The choir started in 2001, and it's been a constant evolution, and this is the latest step in the evolution of Only Men Aloud, and we're having a great time.
Your harmonies are phenomenal. I've just been sent a couple of tracks from this brand new album, which you're trying to get off the ground through Pledge, which of course is the only way anybody seems to get music made these days, because record companies aren't putting their money into you. It's a phenomenal sort of cacophony of sound and the wonderful synergy of voices. How easy is it to get that?
We get into the rehearsal room, and we're very lucky to have Tim, our musical director, who creates some fantastic arrangements, and then when we're in the rehearsal room, you just sort of tweak it and try and get the best out of what we've got. And we've got 8 voices, and what we try and do is allow each of those voices to shine in turn.
It's interesting, isn't it, that on this new album, one of the tracks they've sent me is Bridge Over Troubled Water, which I love. Choice of music is so important when you're putting together a group like yours, because people like familiarity, and you've sort of played on that, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We've got quite an eclectic mix of people who come to our audiences, so we try and reach out to everybody, and that's what we see on the new album. It's got some 60s, 70s and 80s classics on there, but also what's very important to us is paying homage in a way to our roots, which is the Welsh male voice choir, and a lot of our repertoire done in our own way, in our own style, is still a big part of our concerts as well.
I just love that sound. I've always been a fan of brass bands in Yorkshire and, of course, the Welsh choirs. They're two things that are so synonymous to each area. Are young people still going to choirs in Wales? I just wonder whether this is something that's going to end up sort of falling out as people are obsessed with their Xboxes. Is it as popular as it was?
Well, that's the challenge. There's a huge competition for young people's attention these days. And we have sort of over the past sort of 20 years, I suppose, seen a slight decline in the Welsh male choir tradition in Wales. But we ourselves, we started a group called Only Boys Aloud, which is aimed at 14 to 19-year-old boys, and we started 10 choirs across South Wales to engage with teenagers who wanted to get involved with male choral singing, and we've now launched it again in North Wales, and it's going from strength to strength. So the call is out there for these young guys to come and sing. It's just giving them the platform to do it.
How does it feel when you're stood amidst that beautiful sound, that sort of harmony of 8 voices, and it's going perfectly? Is that a sensational feeling?
Strangely, I don't think as singers ourselves, we don't really appreciate the sound that we create, because we're constantly concentrating on the blend, on our own vocal parts, and ensuring that we're creating what we want to create. I don't think we get an opportunity whilst we're performing live to appreciate what we're creating. It's only when we record, or if we see any sort of live recorded performances back, then we can actually get the hit of the whole fruit, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, it must be fun on the road. You're now starting this tour, which is called On the Road, perfect title. What's it like for you guys? Do you get to have fun, or are you incredibly disciplined and in bed by 10 o'clock and sort of gargling with Listerine?
Well, the nature of what we do, and the type of music that we try to create, we can't be up all hours, sort of not getting much sleep, throwing TVs out of windows. I don't think that would translate into good performances. But what we are lucky is that I have a great group of boys who I get to spend a lot of time with. We have a lot of the same interests, a lot of the same sort of a lot of us have the same sort of type of humour, so we have a great laugh. But then when it comes down to it, the product is what we're creating, and that's the focal point. I
suppose if you start falling out and it becomes negative, it just won't work, because that sound is born out of unity, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is, and ultimately, in all groups, you'd get a little bit of friction now and again, and of course that's happened with us. We're close enough to be able to be honest with each other, and then if there are any disagreements, we can sort of talk it out and get to a resolution. But ultimately, I spent the majority of my adult life with the rest of these boys, and they're some of my closest friends, and I'm just very lucky to be able to sort of do what I'm doing with, as I said, my closest friends.
Interesting. I tell you what I love about your career as well is the people you've been able to perform with. So many doors have opened that wouldn't have been opened had you not have been on that BBC talent show Last Choir Standing. I mean, everything from Josh Groban to Amy Nuthall to Bonnie Tyler, you've sang with them all. That must be thrilling when you get that celebrity endorsement.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think what's great for us is we look up to a lot of these performers, and what's great is when they sort of come into the rehearsal room with us and seeing their reaction to what we do, and seeing that sort of endorsement of people who are at the top of their game, saying, "Yeah, guys, you do some great stuff," and that means a lot to us. And in a way, it helps us raise our game as well.
Explain to me about the new album then, because I know I've been sent 2 tracks. Is it the rest of the album that you're getting made through Pledge?
It's been recorded, so it's just in the final processes of being sort of that shine being put on it. I think some of the tracks that you said have been completed, so it's been recorded. But as you said, it's through Pledge, and we're very, very grateful. We've got a fantastic fan base who follow us pretty much all over the world. We did a tour in the Midwest and Chicago in America last year, and some of our hardcore fans followed us all the way over there and sort of travelled around and gave the concerts out there. And without the fan base, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. And through Pledge, it allows us to have freedom over the album, because as you mentioned earlier, sometimes you can be shackled if you're under a large record label, which allows you the freedom musically and creatively with the album, but also it allows sort of other people outside the group to get involved with the album, and we're very grateful for that.
I think it's a great shame though. I tell you why, when I was a kid it was so exciting to go down HMV or any of those stores and get your new album or get the new single from the latest artist. It's almost like the kids are missing out on a whole world by just pressing buy on iTunes. It's a shame.
Yeah, for me, as you said, the exciting thing is having that album in your hand and having all the artwork in the album sleeve and reading all the information that's in there. But you've got to move with the times, and that's why we're doing this album through Pledge, because that's the way music is developing at the moment. But I definitely still think that there's a place for recording and releasing albums, but also our bread and butter is the live work. It's just a documentation of that in our development.
How much access do I get to you? For example, if I gave you £50, do I get to sleep with any of you, or is it just an afternoon tea?
There's plenty of experiences there. If you go to the Only Men Aloud website, there's plenty of things that you can get involved with by pledging your money. I'm not sure if we'd go that far, but who knows?
Everybody has their price, Wyn. Don't you worry about that. I know I have. You want to see my Pledge website? I offer anything for any amount of money.
I'll have a look at that.
Yeah, please do. Hey, listen, great to talk to you. I'm so thrilled you're doing so well and still at it. The new 8-piece Only Men Aloud is on tour, just basically covering the entire country. It's going well, isn't it? How is that selling? Are you getting a good reaction?
Yeah, we're getting a great reaction. We're on this tour, we're going to a lot of theatres that we haven't been to before. So when you do that, it's always a slightly nervous thing, because you don't know how the pickup's going to be. But it's going really, really well, and we're sort of a third into the tour at the moment, and the audiences have been brilliant, and the reaction to the new music has been fantastic as well. So that's a relief.
Yeah, so 8th of May, that's only next week, isn't it? Port Talbot, you'll be there, and then Monmouth and Newtown, covering the whole of the UK as well. You can find out more details by going to the website onlymenaloud.com. You can also find the details there for the Pledge website, where you can give money to get any amount of access. We're not quite sure where the limits are, and that'll be out towards the end of the summer. Great.
Yeah, it will be. We're really excited for that release.
Thank you so much for your time. It's great talking to you. I wish you all the best, and I look forward to seeing you on the road. To hear those harmonies of 8 guys who are just in perfect synergy is inspiring, and I absolutely recommend anybody go and see you because it's a great night out. And good to talk to you boys again. Wyn, thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys. Good